over. We really got screwed on about half the year, right? So gonna make it up in a big way as we take it down the stretch. The NFL closes out week 8. That means we're about halfway done with the NFL season already. College football turning the corner. The MAC and the Pac-12 starting this week. Way to cancel the season, guys. Way to stick to your guns. Anyways, throw a couple bucks their way. It's amazing how fast people change their mind. Anyways, we've got the gang is all here for our one game. We'll also do like kind of a quick look ahead at the schedule, maybe talk about the MAC and the Pac-12 and what we know about it. The MAC game's just 2 days away, and then tomorrow, of course, there's no games at all. So extra tacos for everyone. We'll still be here. We've been here with no games before. I think there might be soccer. Not sure. I don't follow it, but we'll figure it all out. We always do. Of course, this is the new time for the show is 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're 15 minutes late. Not a big deal because it's a small card, but we'll probably be tightening this up as well. But let me bring the gang in and turn their sound back on because, as always, how do you act? Someone's got a fan going over there, but that's okay. Figure it out. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So we had another crazy NFL Sunday there. It was the first primetime game that I didn't put a premium pick on in probably 5 years, maybe more. It was the first primetime NFL game that I didn't put a premium pick. Maybe more than 5 years. Maybe ever. It could be the first one I didn't put a pick in on. I just I just figured that no matter who I took, no matter what I took, I was going to lose. I mean, I guess I could have gone with the under. I don't know. We went on at halftime. I just got murdered. You know, it's like I went for the big payout bet at halftime, you know, the Cowboys money line for the second half, plus 310. It was because there was nowhere else to even go on the game. I just hated it so much. And, I mean, how much does the NFL, like, how arrogant are these guys that they throw 3 NFC East teams at us in prime time in 2 days? I mean, you got to be. I mean, yeah, there's a midseason lull in daylight saving. Let's throw the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Eagles on in prime time in over a 2 day span. It's like, why would you do that to me? It's like, we really don't like us. Chris, speaking about really not liking things, what'd you think of yesterday's NFL, including that gem that we saw last night?
I enjoyed it yesterday. I mean, I thought it was really doggy yesterday. I mean, you had, Minnesota, you had Vegas, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. A lot of the dogs were coming in, and Mitch, you and I talked about that Denver Chargers game and how much I loved it, and you were on the right side of it. But I think the Chargers have taken over the Falcons for that inability to hold a lead in the fourth quarter, and I don't know. They're probably not going to see any of my money, at least for a couple weeks.
It's been such a chalky NFL season up until yesterday. And yesterday was the first time. I mean, I had 2 miserable back-to-back Sundays, going into yesterday. And then yesterday I finally had a good one because it was like, finally the dogs started biting. It was like, it's kind of like how baseball was. The Dodgers and Yankees, it's like kept winning. And it makes it kind of, it just makes it kind of yucky, right? So it's, yesterday was the first day where it's like, it just seemed like, for me, the games that where I normally make my money, were the games that came in yesterday where I can mess with the lines on the dogs and take some alternate lines and take less points when I need it. Like in Denver, the line was 3.5. I had the Broncos +1, for plus 190. So it's like things like that, that you can do where, which you can't do when it's, Ravens are winning every week and the Chiefs and, of course the Jets are going to be the Jets and, that's where the safe money is and is always picking against the Jets. There's also a lot of you're starting to see, it is the middle of the season, and it's kind of like a lot of the frustration that a lot of us have felt, just throughout the year. I'm not talking about, in our sports betting, but just throughout the year. We saw it all kind of come to a head yesterday on the field, and there was more fights in the NFL yesterday and college football Saturday than I think I can ever remember in a single day.
Like hockey.
Yeah, it was kind of. It was.
What's going on?
It was like it was crazy, right? It was like I'm always surprised that there's not more NFL fights, and I always am surprised that when the guys are celebrating and kind of rubbing the other team's face in it, that nobody cleans them out. I'm always shocked. Like the guy who I was always shocked was like Santonio Holmes and Plaxico, right? Those guys with their little celebration, they're the ones that really started celebrating the first down. It's like. If they get a first down, it's got to be this song and dance, And I was always surprised that like someone didn't just come, like when Santonio Holmes would do the thing, then someone just wouldn't come flying and just clean this clock. It's like wow, you caught one finally. That's kind of like the guys that the I told you so people in the Facebook group or in the comments. I hit this yesterday. It's like the I told you so people. It's kind of like how annoying, right?
They should get rid of all end zone celebrations. They're all annoying in my book.
How about the Seattle celebration on defense finally not going into the end zone for the celebration and then going to the middle of the field and throwing the ball around for a long time? It wasn't like a quick one either. It was like, every player on the defense touched the ball at least twice during the celebration. They kind of did what were they doing, Chris? Was it hot potato? Is that what that was?
I think so. Yeah, hot potato.
Yeah. It was, speaking of hot potatoes, Rod, not your finest weekend, but my last two NFL weekends were miserable. It's it's part of the game, but it's like, is there one you wish you had back? Like where you just said, man, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Because I that was my LSU game. I know that. But it's like, whew, that was ugly.
betting against the Dolphins. I wish I had that back. I took the Rams. Kicked myself.
I just thought the Dolphins were onto something. If you stick it, if you're winning and you change quarterbacks, you're on to, something.
Normally I stay away from the Dolphins. I usually don't bet the team. It's the one team that I like. I usually try to stay away from because it's just that team. And then yesterday I was like, you know what? Everywhere I looked, it was like people were jumping on the Dolphins, and I was like, I'm going to go the other way.
So I was looking at our preseason predictions that you, Chris, and I made for win totals. Chris and I had over on the Dolphins. You were the only one of us three that had the under on them. So maybe it's just sat with you all season. We all had the under on the Eagles, though. It was like there's a big star next to it, and the Cowboys too. We have a big star next to the Cowboys and the Eagles for the unders.
What was their total set at for wins before the season? 9.5.
9.5.
Oh, they could still go over.
No chance. Zero chance. Slim.
You remember, they still play Washington. They still got the Giants.
They lost to Washington the first time at home. Slim has just left town.
17-9 too.
So you think the Eagles can get
crazier stuff has happened.
So with 8 games left, you think the Eagles can go 7-1? Because that's what it's going to take to go over, right? Because they got 9.5.
Maybe they push 9, 6, and 1.
No, they're 9.5. The hook is in.
Yeah.
So it's like they need to go 7-1.
I don't deal with team totals, but
I was almost going to say it sounded like Brian had a futures on it.
No, I didn't. I just like to argue the other side. I don't know.
No, you can. We can argue the other side all day, but we'll look down their schedule and see if you see 7-1 here. I mean, I'll take the other side of that one all day.
How many wins do the
I'll book you action. I'll bet the number. What's that?
The Eagles' record 3-4-1.
Yeah, so they would need 7-1 from here on out to hit that over. 7-1 is a reach. I mean, the Chiefs, it would be a reach, right?
What do the Eagles have left here?
We all took the under on the Chiefs at 11.5 too.
Ooh, that's gonna be.
Yeah, we lost that one.
What was ours on the? What was it on the Steelers?
I think I was over. on the Steelers. It was, what was the team that we, like, there's a few of them where we're just dead right. The Jets had a star next to them, 6.5. It's like, we all had under on the Jets. So the Eagles.
Yeah, they look like 3 more wins for the Eagles. That's not going to do it.
Well, they play the Giants.
Seahawks, Packers.
So they have a bye next week. Well, they got a bye. So the Seahawks, Packers, Saints, Cardinals. I don't like their chances in any of those. And the Browns, that's a reach at Cleveland. I mean, Carson Wentz, he holds on to the ball too long. Vernon and Myles Garrett. That's not a good matchup.
You got Cowboys and Washington again. That's 2 more.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Those might even be a reach. Maybe
They because it's at Dallas, and they lost to Washington already this season.
They did.
Yeah, they did. I pounded that second half on the show. They were 14-point dogs in that game. Oh, we crush them. That was beautiful. It's back when dogs were dogs. Week 1. Remember it like it was yesterday.
And then cue the flashback scene where the screen goes fuzzy.
Speaking about shit games, we got the Bucs and the Giants tonight. This one's from MetLife Stadium. I mean, I don't know. This is one of those games where it's like the Giants are so bad, and I've spent the whole year and change bashing them, right? I mean, I've been bashing them since before the Eli Apple draft pick. I've been bashing the Giants forever, right? I mean, I've been bashing them for as long as you can go. But, yeah, I mean, this has got to be one of the squarest Monday Night Footballs that there could possibly be. I mean, there's never going to be a bigger Sharps versus Squares game than this.
No, it's pretty close to Packers and Vikings was up there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for Monday Night Football. This is the biggest Sharp Square that I can remember since like the Jags played the Ravens like 9 years ago, and the Jags outrighted them. You know, it's basically what happened.
It sets up pretty good for the books here because you're gonna have a lot of people trying to get back to even that lost yesterday and
that had the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't ask me what I thought of yesterday, but I thought it was pretty 50-50.
Well, we didn't care. We didn't care.
Totals 8 out of 12 went over. I mean, so the public had some hits yesterday, so I'm ready to get more sharp. It should have been more sharp. Wasn't sharp enough for me. So.
I tell you, the
NFC
West is the toughest division to figure it out. Man. To me, it's like these teams are there's no week-to-week continuity. You said it last week, Brian. There's no week-to-week continuity in the NFL. There just is none. And there's in no division is it more apparent than the NFC West, where San Francisco gets bludgeoned by Miami, and then they come back and they come up with 2 giant wins, and then yesterday they had to take Garoppolo out because they were afraid. The reason why they took Garoppolo out of the game was that they were afraid that if they left him in, he wasn't going to be able to finish the season. That was exactly what they said. That if we leave him in here, he's not going to finish the season. The Seahawks, all they heard all week was that they were the worst defense. Bobby Wagner played like, you ever see Fast Times at Ridgemont High when they wrecked the guy's car? I mean, that's what Bobby Wagner was like yesterday. I mean, he was off the chain. I mean, you have like a Hall of Famer who's playing probably one of the best games. Textbook. He lit up Garoppolo on one shot. I mean, it was like you could hear it was like, oh my God, that had to hurt. And then finally they took him out because they were just like, he's not gonna. If we leave him in, he's not gonna finish the season. It's like that was the exact thought process. He got just so crushed. It's just weird how the Niners had no answers, right? None. Kittle, I mean, he was just getting crushed. The Seahawks were like possessed on defense yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know what it was like. Whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
Wow,
Possessed is the exact word I was going to use. Bobby Wagner just looked incensed, like he was pissed off.
Yep, he was sick of hearing about it. And Seattle also took some nice penalties on defense, which I always think is effective. I always like a good defensive, the extracurricular. Send a message, send a message. I hate I hate the penalty, the roughing the passer where the guy touched the guy's face mask. If you're going to take a rough in the passer, drill the guy, man. Just drill him, right? Light him up.
Still a 15-yarder.
Yeah. I want to see a mouthpiece flying across the field is what I want to see. It's like that's how the Hurricanes always did it. Like when I was back in the 80s, those great Miami teams under Jimmy Johnson, it's like you start the game off, first play of the game, 15-yard rough in the passer, just set the tone, that this is what it's going to be like today.
It's like the coach that gets the technical to fire his team up when they're down.
And this is why we saw the fights, New Orleans, Chicago. I mean, what was that?
Gotta keep us entertained.
So anyways, we go to one of the highest priced tickets in the NFL here. Giants Giants against the Bucs. I mean, I wonder what the I mean, there's no, obviously, it's different this year, but generally the Giants tickets are the most expensive, right? They're like crazy. Monahan, when he would do the show with us, his brother was a Giants season ticket holder, so he knew the menu prices of the items at Giants Stadium as well. Chris, what do you think here with Tom Brady and the Giants? He's got like a history against this team where this is the team that kind of owns his ass, right?
Yeah, I think this is a chance for him to exercise some demons with no Eli Manning on the other side. Instead, he now gets Daniel Jones. But I do think, I was 50-50 on the total at 48, but now it's down to 45. I like the over. I can easily see the Bucs getting into the 30s here, and let's see the Giants doing at least enough to contribute to the total. So I like the over in this one.
So we've seen the Bucs and lay an egg a few times this season, right? We've seen them happen, and we've seen the inconsistency in the NFL, and the Bucs are coming off of that 45-20 win at Las Vegas, so now it's back-to-back road games. Any chance that this is the Bucs' egg?
I mean, potentially, but they've also scored 28 points in 5 of their last 6, so they've been scoring consistently, and you're right. They do have the potential to lay an egg, but the only egg they really laid was that Thursday night game, and those are.
Well, we know you're an expert on egg laying, but when it comes to the Bucs, so here's what I'm thinking, and you guys feel free to chime in. So on the Bucs, you have this kind of mishmash of players, right? That all came to this thing, but among those guys. Okay, you have some of the most penalized players in NFL history, right? And the cheap penalties, the crappy ones, the ones where you can't even argue, right? It's like you got a New York game, you got a huge money on Tampa, you got all this stuff going on. You don't think Ndamukong Suh makes a 15-yard penalty that puts the Giants like on the 2-yard line and punch one into the back door or something? I mean, it just seems almost too obvious, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems almost too obvious that it's like the setup is in. And what do you think about this one tonight?
I actually definitely agree with you on that. I mean, it'll be nice to, I love the Brady and Antonio Brown reunited, but I something tells me in my gut there's something fishy about this game. I mean, everything on paper seems like, you have Brady who threw over 350 yards last week against the Raiders, and then it's like Giants quarterback throws 200 yards against, not even 200 against the Eagles. To play it safe, I'm going to go with the Bucs for the first half at -7.
Yeah, I think something definitely smells fishy in this game. I think
fishy.
Something smells way fishy about this one. Just seems like so crazy, right? It's like it's too bad of a game, in too big of a spot for it to not be, because that is the NFL Dirty Tricks Committee, right? The
refs aren't going to let this game get out of hand.
No, they're not going to let this game get out of hand because they'll tune out. It's like the NFL. What are ratings like this year? I'm going to guess they're down like all the other sports.
I would worry about that first half, and only because they don't want people tuning out at halftime. So I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you where they'll be tuning in at halftime right here.
Tune in at halftime.
I'll be live at halftime. It's going to be interesting because we got construction going on at the house today, so there could be some loud banging in the background. Today will be demolition day.
I'll be on the drive-thru tonight.
Only 2 rooms over. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a fun 3 weeks together doing this stuff.
Construction at your house? Are you building on that extra room for me?
Yeah, it's called the bathroom. We're redoing the bathroom.
Is that where I gotta stay? The bathroom?
I don't care.
It's got plumbing. That's all that you need.
Not yet, but it will. It will happen. Rod, what do you think? You think we see just the blowout that we're all that it looks like, or do you think this is? I described last night's Eagles Cowboys game during the halftime with Ann. I called it the Mayweather Pacquiao fight. It was the game that we all knew was going to happen, but we all hoped wasn't going to happen. It was just this fumble, interception, crap fest. We saw Tom Brady in primetime in Chicago, a few weeks ago too, on the road. And I think that was not his finest hour, was it?
No. But this Giants, how many times are the Giants going to turn this ball over? Giants offense. That's 28th in the league, giving up 13 turnovers. That's not good. And then you look at their defense, and they're not doing any better. They've only created 8 turnovers, ranked 23rd. I guess this Bucs defense. If you look, how many points are the Giants scoring? 13, 15, 16.
Then why isn't the line 21?
Exactly.
Because it's 13. It's like right in it's minus 13. And if you look, the number's pretty. Tampa Bay offense they're scoring about 30 points. The Giants offense is scoring about 16. So it's right in that area, varying a pick six or just like you said, maybe some crazy backdoor cover at the end. But I think the number's pretty close at 13. It might be a little off a little bit on one way. But for me in this one, I'm going to take the over. The Bucs are 21-9 in the last 30 to the over on the road. I'm going to take the over here.
Brian, Giants last 4 games, 17-9 lost to the Rams at L.A. 37-34 lost to the Cowboys at Dallas, 3 points. 1 point win over Washington and a 1 point loss to the Beagles. They have a 4 point loss to the Bears. You got
a bunch of
out.
Close games. Usually the Giants
got a lot of close games, man. They lost to the Steelers. Remember the opening Monday night game that we 26-16. They were only getting 6 in that game. We were loaded up on the Steelers, but
not me.
But I was. But they were. That was my Monday night game of that Monday, and it was 10 points. Against the Steelers, who in hindsight are undefeated at this point, coming off yesterday's win in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This Giants team keeps games close. That's all I'm saying. They don't win a lot of games, and they're 0-for against the number at home, which everyone is saying, hey, they haven't covered at home all year. Normally, even the Jets covered, right? I mean, once. 1-6. 1-7, 1-6, something like that.
No, the Giants won 1 at home.
Yeah, but they didn't cover.
No, because they were
2-point favorites and won by 1.
Both of these teams are both 4-3 ATS this year.
Yeah, but the Giants are 4-0 on the road against the number, 0-3 at home against the number. That's the difference. I don't know. Brian, what do you think? Senior Square.
Yeah, I'm the squarest guy on the planet.
We know that.
Guys out there, make sure you're watching this line all day. If it happens to go to 14 points, which I don't see it, then I wouldn't touch the Giants here. But it stayed around 12.5, 13 all week. money's is all
pouring
over
in
Tampa
on
Bay.
the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
Pouring
So there's no way I would ever take Tampa Bay. I like the under here. I think Tampa Bay comes out flat in the first half, and we see another crappy game like yesterday. So, and Rob Gronkowski, I got him scoring the first touchdown. I think Brady's back in love with him, so he'll set him up with a score. So for me, it's the under, and just keep an eye on that line. If it's still 12.5 by kickoff, I'd put everything that I lost on the Giants and try to get my money back.
Gronkowski's probable for this game. Godwin out. Pierre-Paul questionable. Antonio Brown eligible. No, he's not.
Are they going to let him play, or are they going to let him play in this game?
Eligible week 9.
Oh.
So
There's not a lot next week.
yeah, I don't think he's not a guy that the refs are going to give like an exceptionally good time to. I mean, I can't imagine him catching a lot of breaks. We got an injury list for the Giants. It's crazy.
It's nuts.
Crazy. Lemieux, any relation to Mario?
No, that's what I was like, what?
Pepe Le Pew.
Devonta Freeman out for this one. I mean, your kicker's even injured. And this makes sense for a kicker injury. It's leg, it says. Leg. It's like...
It says probable. He's probably going to play today.
Yeah, he's going to kick.
Like, it's not his. It doesn't even say which leg it is. Like, is it a kicking leg or is it the non-kicking leg?
Man, it's just that time of year where just these injury lists are a mile and a half long. Well, we got 2 new conferences starting this week in college football. We've got the MAC attack going on, and the Pac-12. Pac-12 was gonna be really good. Oregon, right, was gonna be balls to the wall, man. They had everybody, but I don't know. A lot of these guys that opted out, they opt back in. Chris, do you know anything about these Oregon guys that opted out? Like they had the best guy in the country, right? The best player in the country is on Oregon, and he opted out, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull Oregon's roster back up.
I thought you just had this at the tip of your tongue because just chomping at the bit to talk about the Ducks.
Yeah. Javon Holland, supposed to be a first rounder, but
yeah, like one of the top of the first round.
Yeah,
like and Trevor Lawrence, this guy.
But I think he was the first to say that he wasn't going to play when the Pac-12 said they were going to come back. He was just like, "No, I'm not chancing it. I'm not risking my profile." But then it's like, well, you got to sort of play to improve your draft stock. I mean, I know you're already projected to be a first rounder, but to sort of cement that.
Tell it to LaMelo Ball. Tell it to LaMelo.
Nah, fair enough. Tell
it to LaMelo, man. He's touring. He's touring. Who's got the first pick in the NBA again? Some crap. The Warriors are up there though, right?
Yeah. Well, Minnesota was already talking to him, and potentially he could go number 1.
Wow. Talk about how many number 1s has Minnesota had? A lot of number 1s.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else got anything they want to talk about? Rod? Brian?
Well, I forgot about my special for today.
Oh boy.
My special package. I just put up my college basketball for $100 off the next 2 days. So 56% winners over my last almost 700 college basketball selections. So you want to get invested early, buy in now. It's $100 off the next 2 days.
How much is it?
$400. It's going to be $500 when the season gets closer.
All right, so. $400. So that is probably ends up being about 10 cents.
150 picks.
It's like it's probably like 10 cents a game when it's all said and done. I mean, there's college basketball every day of the week.
And I'm in every day. I don't take days off. So.
Except the days you take off. Take a pass.
Like tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm taking the day off.
Tomorrow I'm taking the day off too. Except for this show. I'll be doing this. Don't forget to vote. We don't take political sides here, but I will say, don't forget to vote. I already voted. We had mail-in. Ours are all mail-in this year. I don't even understand how you do that. It's like,
So you're not allowed to go in person?
they sent me. They sent it in the mail. It's like, most of the people on this. This is how crazy this shit is, right? So we have 150,000 residents where I live, the whole island, right? 150,000 people. I would say 70% of those people, that this is a second home for them. They don't live here full time. So those ballots, because they just reopened the island, which there are a ton of tourists here, by the way, ton. So I have to say the locals are really snarky to the tourists this time around. Like normally it's like, aloha, welcome. Now it's like, man, take your COVID shit over there, man. It's like, it's seriously, man. It's like, I don't know. Normally, it's always been like the aloha spirit here, but it's like, man, it is not the aloha spirit right now. It's weird.
You think they'd be nice to people because they need the tourists?
I think that people would rather have their health than the tourists. I think that's the one thing about the Hawaiian people is that they don't really care about the money too much. The bulk of the Hawaiian people, my friends, they don't care about the money all that much. They really don't. It's like, so when they first settled Hawaii, when they first came in here, they like told the Hawaiians, it's like, oh, you can make money, come work with us, and we'll give you jobs, and you can make food or whatever, and all this stuff, and you could do all these things. We'll give you jobs. You're gonna have a better life. And I guess like the Hawaiians, like they said, okay, yeah, and then that day they went down to the beach, they caught a fish, and sat under a tree all day. And I think that's pretty much sums it all up. It's like we're self-sufficient. We don't really need you, and it's fine. It's like I think we made it, and it's like I don't know. I understand both ways because we had such low COVID cases. We had such low numbers here, and now opening the door for a couple bucks, it's like.
Yeah, well, we're at the point now where there's lots of different options if you catch it, where it's not really an end of the world. So I mean,
it doesn't seem to be. But I don't know. I'm not one of the people that's. I don't know. I believe I had it. It was just like when I had the other one. That other flu, the swine flu or whatever it was. When I had that, I didn't even know it. The bird flu, I've had them all. Oh, that was nasty, man. I had the bird flu. I got that one in Vegas. It was like, I thought I was going to die.
Yeah. Back in March, I was deathly ill, me and my son. So
remember they had the Tamiflu shortage? Like it was a shortage on Tamiflu because they're in the bird flu. And it was like, I found like the one Walgreens in Vegas that had Tamiflu. And it's like, I got a prescription, and they're like held it for me. I drove there. It's like I was out, man. I was just still managed to get in a couple rolls at the craps table before I passed out. But it was all right. Well,
I'm gonna be in the drive-thru tonight, giving out my Packers-Niners side. But I early on, that's what I like. So it might change as the week goes on. But
is there soccer today?
Yes, there is.
And you want to talk about it? I mean, I'm sitting here trying to figure something to talk about. You could have said, hey, I got some soccer we could talk about or something.
Yeah. Can I have a quick shameless plug?
Yep.
Go ahead, Chris. The floor is yours, man.
I wanted to ask first. I got my European Soccer Continental Buffet 5-pack over at the website. $29.95. It's going to get you all 5 soccer games today. I got a 3-pack up there as well as my Monday Night Monster for Monday Night Football.
Done?
Yep, finished.
Nice story.
Thank you.
It's a good story.
Had a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Wow. And you got any packages for sale today? We skipped this part.
I don't, but I probably will have a total later today on the game. Well, and like once we're done the show here, I'm going to put it up. I'll give out a free tennis pick I like at 1:15 Eastern time. You have Korea versus Benjamin Bonzi. I like the Korea at plus 190.
All right.
Little tennis.
First tennis pick in the history of this show. Figures.
I was figured, why not?
Girl power.
I like that one.
Plus 190. I always like that. Rod, you got anything for sale today?
Yeah, I got a 3-pack up there. I've got the side and the total in tonight's football game, and I threw in a nice plus money in doggone soccer. Love that play in La Liga today. Nice triple.
All right. Sounds exciting. I got Monday Night Football pick up there. You guys probably know who I mean. I usually give it away. I'm about as transparent as there is.
I peeked at the MAC action for Wednesday, so not that anybody cares, but I'm excited for MAC to start up.
I got to really go underneath the hood on the MAC. Chris, who's the beast of the MAC this year? Is it Toledo?
I thought it was Buffalo.
Well, the irony is they play Bowling Green week 1. Everybody knows last year Toledo is that 28-point favorite, losing outright to the Falcons. But I think it's Buffalo.
Didn't someone bet like 30,000 on the money line on that game?
That's what we're talking about. They bet 1,000 to win $25.
There's something like that, right? Yeah, and they lost.
That's nice.
Yeah, and they lost. Yeah.
I saw somebody bragging that they had the Eagles money line on a parlay yesterday. I don't get it.
For me, I think Buffalo's the team to beat in the MAC this year.
Who's theirs? Who's what's a little? Give us a little.
No, I'm not. They got a ton of experience coming back. They got most notably Jarrett Patterson. He ran for 1,800 yards last year, 5th most in the country, and still got a pair of quarterbacks coming back: Kyle Van Treese, Matt Myers. Solid receiving core. Antonio Nunn. It's gonna be a really, really good Buffalo offense, and I think the defense is going to hold up as well. I think it's going to be a really good season for Buffalo.
How about Eastern Michigan, man? They're always my money team in the MAC. Everyone knows. I love frickin' Eastern Michigan. It's like, I love them. They're always my key on my directional Michigan parlay when I go to Vegas. I just bet all the Michigans. Eastern Michigan, Western Michigan, Central Michigan, Michigan State, and Michigan. It's almost too obvious.
And if you're feeling really, really good, you'll throw Detroit Mercy in for college basketball, too.
No, only Michigans. Only directional Michigans.
He's like, don't try to complicate it.
Yeah, that's... Then you got Oakland in there. It's like, all hell's breaking loose.
Don't muddy this up.
Yeah, it's too much. You're overthinking it. How about Ohio against Central Michigan? You got Frank Solich company. Back 42% of the public moving the line the other direction for Bittler. Got Miami of Ohio, 2-point favorites over Ball State. Once again, inverse line movement.
Is Akron still getting 17?
And a half.
And a half, yeah.
The Zips.
I don't like that then.
No.
Eastern's getting 6.5 against the Golden Flashes. It's always weird. Is it Golden Flash or Golden Flashes?
Flashes.
Why? How is that? You would think it's the Golden Flash. Like what's the plural of flash? Is flash? It's not flashes. Flashes is a verb, right? It flashes. It's flash.
Oh no, it's like I got yeah, I got 3 flashes on Bourbon Street the other night. Like it's plural. I didn't get 3 flash.
Doesn't make a lot of sense, really. You're foolish and lack vision.
What else is new?
That's why they're in that division.
So we got a doubleheader on Tuesday in college and Thursday in college football. Nevada and Utah State, and 0-2 meets 2-0, and then we've got Colorado State, who looked hideous in their opener, up against Wyoming, coming off that win against Hawaii. Then Friday night, we've got Miami, NC State. Brian loves NC State, one of his very favorites out there.
You might take him at home against Miami. You never know.
Oh. You got San Diego State against San Jose State. And then the big one of the big ones is BYU Boise. Of course, BYU beat Boise last year. It was their one loss. But Boise's quarterback, is he? What happened? Does anyone know what happened with this Boise quarterback? I mean, I know I badmouthed the Boise quarterback at the craps table, but it's like, this is a different guy. It's like all of a sudden he wasn't playing in that game against Air Force on Saturday. It was like he didn't even make the trip.
Maybe he had the COVID.
No, they didn't. They wouldn't say. They wouldn't say what it was. They refused to say. If it's COVID, they have to say it.
Oh, maybe it was a personal issue.
It was. I read something like it was a family personal issue, but
Well,
I mean, it was from like one of the low-end media sources. So.
Well, how would you know? Because it says undisclosed. So if it's undisclosed, it hasn't been disclosed.
Like media, like
only disclosed. They just changed the status. Only disclosed to Ann and Star Magazine.
It's like TMZ, you know.
Oh, Boise's kind of looking tasty for the end of the week. We'll see if that breaks down. But
against the Cougars,
I'm tempted with Boise. I like my home dog on a Friday,
especially
I love that.
On the blue turf.
I love that.
Well, if
it goes above 3, then I might stay away from that. But
I would say that if so the odd thing is that so if Bachmeier's out, for this game, the line will move. If he's definitely out, the line will definitely move, and for good reason. But last year, as crazy as it was, BYU beat Boise, but their quarterback was out for that game too. Wilson was out for that game, and the guy, it was
Is it Mangum or
no, that was like 6 years ago.
Oh no! Oh, I'm mixing them.
Romney, right?
Yeah, Baylor Romney,
Something like that.
Gunnar Romney. I don't know.
Something like that. All I know is that if you're 27, 28 years old, you're eligible to play quarterback at BYU. That's pretty much the way that it works. It's like, let's roll out these did you see the tight end at BYU catch that pass? It's like, this guy looked like he was in his mid-30s, It's like you're playing against high school kids.
They're saying it's not for disciplinary issues, but Boise State did have one individual test positive for COVID, but the coach says he has a policy of not releasing it or giving out information. So, if that means anything.
Okay, quarterback.
Yeah. BYU is normally the scandal team. Remember the basketball player that slept with half the school? It was like
I forgot about that.
one of my favorite college scandals of all time. It's like slept with half the school. It's like he won't be eligible for the tournament this year. It's like,
the reason he played for the Cougars.
It's like you look at the injury list. It's like slept with half the school. It's like
out with mono.
Well, none of the other guys would have sex with any of the women, so he just felt obligated.
Okay, twist my arm.
Like, just throwing it out there. Well, anyways, I think we're good for today. Did 43 minutes with one game. Anyone want to say anything else? Brian, you look disgusted by the whole situation.
No, I'm tired of running up and down the stairs all the time. That's not coming to end anytime soon, so I got used to it.
All right, I'm going to play some golf today. Heading over to Waiahu, public municipal golf course here in Maui. We have one municipal course, Waiahu. 15 bucks. What's that?
Wish I could play. It's too cold here.
$15. Oceanfront. It is directly on the ocean. Like, directly on the ocean. Not like Ocean View, not like whatever. It is directly, like, on the beach. Like, it is.
Why? Is there snow on the ground? You can't golf, Brian?
I'm a wuss. I don't want to be out there in 45-degree weather.
Got to get some gear.
I like 70 degrees.
You got to get some gear.
Just get a jacket and, some.
My
What is it?
my clubs are at the my
50
clubs.
out, and you're like, oh, I can't go outside.
I need perfect temperatures.
Did you hear the grunt? That was your answer.
My clubs are at the club, so I got to use my auxiliary set over here. So it's gonna be different thing for me. Anyways, yeah, that's it. It's weird. I'll see you guys at halftime, I guess. And you coming on for halftime?
I'll join you.
All right, great.
We'll crush it.
Crush it. We got to make
We'll
up.
see.
Yeah, yesterday it was weird. Like the regular halftime during the day. This is my other microphone. It's sitting there. But yeah, the other halftime, the early halftime I did okay, and then the late halftime I just wasn't involved in the game, you know. So I chased, you know, and that's what I do.
You hit the under. I did not like the Cowboy. I'm like, okay, you want to go money line, all right. But hey, I mean,
well, I think that was the only way to play it was money line.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
You know,
But
it's like if you're gonna.
I'm just gonna do under.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna go for it. I'm not gonna like sit here and just get abused by some guy. You know, it's like if I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna lose. When they missed that field goal to start the second half, I knew it was dead. I knew it was it.
Or that punt return was crazy too. Like I just don't understand how that was. That was like crazy.
Crazy shit.
It was. I don't want to talk about it, but
let's move on.
See how tonight goes. It's gonna be interesting.
BYU Boise.
Boise.
I just love we have college football action almost all week, so that's what I'm excited about.
Just one day, and then. So these are like the last of the slow times is the way that the schedule is shaping up. And it's like after Thanksgiving, I think we're good all the way to, you know, the All-Star break of baseball again. We should be good all the way till then because the NBA is now talking about starting a little later than they originally thought. So that will actually take that season all the way through baseball season. So actually we might not even have the All-Star break.
Didn't they say Martin Luther King Day or something?
Right,
like
that they're going to start King Day.
January, yeah.
January 19th, right? Generally, it's that third Monday.
I'd love to have NBA all summer. So.
Yeah, we're going to have NBA all summer. If they start in January, we're going to have NBA all summer. Normally, they start in October.
I think that's smart by them because you don't know what kind of vaccines they'll be able to have more fans in the stands. So you got to make money. These contracts are going to be.
If NBA's right there. We have NHL right behind them.
I could Bittler out. See, you guys are setting me up perfect. I could Bittler out and say, I was number one in NBA this year. 62.3%.
See, I'm a guy that needs his fans in the stands. That's what I need.
I do need some fans.
I think that's what's hurting me. NFL, I look back I think I've 5 or 6 years in a row I've done excellent in the NFL. This is the first year that I've just mediocre to suck. So I think it's the fans not being in.
Don't worry, Brian. You'll always suck to us.
I don't like sucking in the NFL. So.
Well, it's okay. Someone's got to suck. It might as well be you.
Now we're at
nobody's really done well in the NFL, though, as far as, you know. It's bound to pick up.
Yeah, no one has done well in the NBA. I mean, in the NFL. Consistently. We've all had
this year.
We've all had runs in the NFL this year, but no one has consistently like hammered it.
Because in other sports, you could point to like Dana Lane, awesome Major League Baseball, Mitch Wilson, NBA, along with a couple other guys, and then me, college.
Couple
football.
Other guys who no one was even close.
I think there was another guy.
No way.
Wasn't Shane Mickle? Wasn't he up there?
I smoked.
I'm trying to
guys.
think.
Smoked you.
I'm taking solace in my number 3 finish, even though I was
Chris was there.
halfway behind.
Yeah, Chris was third, but he was. How many units were you up?
I was like half of what you had. I was like at 1,000 units.
Dominated.
That's how my friend Kevin Thomas is. He's like, I finished 6th in the NBA and 8th in Major League Baseball. Well, nobody cares unless you're number 1. Right?
I had Bittler so off his game in NBA, it wasn't even funny. He was like, I can't believe he's like messaging me at like 4:00 in the morning my time or 3:00 in the morning my time. It's like, I can't believe you had the Lakers last night. It's like, it's like I had you on the other team.
College will be fun. I love college basketball. I'm actually going to put up a future on the site if we get there.
Future. Well, that's going to be hard to grade. Super hard to grade. That's the problem with that. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like
6 months
refund
ago?
somebody 6 months later?
Yeah.
You'll have to add it like in the bot.
Maybe 25-cent future.
Yeah, no way. You can't do it on. It won't take on the site. What you can do for the future bets, kind of what Brian tries to slide in, what he tried to slide in with his, before he went on his first touchdown scoring losing streak, he tried to slide it in like on the bottom of his other pick, said it's like a bonus.
I'm offering it free with anybody that buys the pick tonight.
Who'd you pick? You already gave it out. You already said.
Oh yeah, I gave out Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, you said Gronk.
I'm talking about back then.
I didn't even give did I give one out? Shepard. Sterling
He's
Shepard.
been hot. He's starting to heat up.
Sterling Shepard for me. Chris, you got a pick for first touchdown? Daniel Jones?
If he doesn't trip over his own feet. Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette, if he doesn't get injured walking out of the locker room. And anyone for first touchdown?
I like Shepard, actually.
Who? Shepard? Copycat. Another copycat. It's like I don't have enough of those out on the internet, you know?
There you
go. I got more copycats in sports handicapping than anybody out there. It's like every day there's a new copycat. It's like we get I'm seriously going to do a show of me eating oatmeal and popcorn, and I'm going to bet you somebody copies that too, you know?
We already know somebody that copycat.
Well, everybody has. Sports Chat Place was the first site to do free picks on every game every single day. It was the first one. We were the very first one. Other people did free picks here and there. They threw out some free picks or they covered some of the big games. But we were the first ones to cover like that Coastal Carolina Georgia State game. We were the first ones to ever do that. And everybody else copied me. And now there's so many imitators out there. So many. But, I mean, we were the first ones. Far and away the first ones. It wasn't even close. And the second was Picks and Parlays. Was the second one to do, which was also, a site that I founded and started, built from the ground up, financed, came up with the concept. Pretty much everything.
All right, I'll go Evans.
No, you could stick to your guns.
No, I'm Evans.
Rod, who do you like?
Final answer.
I like Scotty Miller. Give me
he's out.
Scotty Miller.
I thought he's injured.
Touchdown.
I thought he's out.
Is he injured?
I think so. No, I think I think he might be. He's questionable, probable. Something, I don't know.
I thought Evans and Jones were out.
Rod's like, he's like, I got my DoorDash up here. I got to switch.
Like what? I thought
Evans.
I thought Evans and Jones were like more questionable than anybody else.
I think he's playing.
All right. It's fun while it lasted. Thanks everyone for joining us. Sorry we didn't have anything to talk about. Tomorrow's probably going to be worse. So,
take West Brom in soccer. It starts in an hour and a half. West Brom money line soccer.
All right. Have a nice day, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll try and act more professional tomorrow. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Zero idea. But don't forget to vote. Like I said, ours were mail-in this year, which is odd considering there's probably either a lot of empty there's a lot of mailboxes with ballots sitting in them right now, or someone could have easily just picked up those envelopes and mailed them in. I don't know, man. It's kind of like if they did internet voting, you just go into an Apple store and
I wonder how they go about prosecuting somebody if somebody else picked it up, mailed it in, and then that person actually went and voted in person. So
who would know?
Sounds dangerous.
Sounds like Chicago. Vote early, vote often. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll try and act more professional tomorrow. Have a great day.